Pernida Parnkjas. Pernida Parnkjas, Pernida Parnkjasu, is a Quincy and a member of the Wandenreika's Sternritter with the designation C, the Compulsory, as well as one of Yawach's Schutzstaffel, Schadosusatafru, German 4, Protective Echelon, Japanese 4, Elite/Imperial Guards. It is also the left hand of the Soul King. Pernida governs progress, and its counterpart is Mimihagi. Pernida alongside Gerard Valkyrie were Quincy that were not bestowed any special powers by Yawach as they had their abilities from the onset. They were the only ones out of all the Sternritter who already possessed their abilities. Because of this, rumors of them being the left hand and heart of the Soul King, respectively, were spread among their comrades. Eventually Yawach bestowed a script upon them in recognition of their status. Appearance. Pernida wears a long white cloak fastened at the front with 3 buttons and with a dark red Hegel rune on its side. The cloak obscures its face with shadow, leaving glowing eyes. As the left hand of the Soul King, Pernida's body consists of an enormous pale-skinned left hand with chains linking its fingertips together and a large eye with 2 pupils and golden irises in the center of its palm. Upon breaking the chains, Pernida gains the rest of its body in the form of a large arm, which has tendons, muscle, and bone spilling out at the end. In this form, Pernida is incredibly tall, to the point where it easily towers over human-sized combatants like Ikaku Madarame and Yumachika Ayasegawa. Personality. Initially, Pernida remains silent and displays no semblance of its personality, but the other Schutzstaffel can understand it. During its battle with Mayuri, however, it began talking in a slow and mumbled speech that gradually evolves to improve its vocabulary to the point that it could fully speak for itself. During battle it acts somewhat cocky and arrogant, claiming that the size of its enemy means nothing to it. It also displays this when facing Mayuri Kuratsuchi, whom it taunts by asking if it should make him more nervous during their fight and imitating Mayuri's laugh after overcoming his modified Bankai. Despite being the left arm of the Soul King, Pernida firmly identifies itself as a Quincy, and becomes irritated when this is mocked, taking great pride in being one. This pride is such that Pernida will not forgive anyone who insults the Quincy. Powers and abilities. Evolution governance. Pernida governs progression and advancement through evolution, the enhancement of oneself and others via accelerated evolution, which it displays with the various adaptations it employs in order to survive combat situations. Organic evolution. Pernida can evolve by absorbing and consuming organic biomass and gaining the abilities, traits, and attributes of the being the biomass was from. Adaptive replication. Pernida can evolve by absorbing information from objects it touches with its nerves. In doing so, it evolved itself to the power level of Kenpachi Zaraki and replicated the layer-shedding ability of the Kanjiki Asha Soji Jizo created by Mayuri Kuratsuchi's modified Bankai. Anatomy manipulation. Pernida has complete control over its anatomy, which it can freely alter and manipulate. It can grow additional appendages, remove sections or otherwise manipulate its parts. Self-replication. Should one of its fingers be removed from its body, Pernida can create a clone of itself from that finger. This involves the finger sprouting additional fingers and eyes before growing into a full hand and arm, which is distinguishable from Pernida itself by the fact that it only has 1 pupil in its eye and no Hegel rune on its wrist. These copies can also use the Compulsory and create Heilig Bogen and Heilig File on their own. These clones can also reform from extreme damage, such as having their body torn to shreds, and can remain sentient and use their powers even in a state of severe dismemberment. This is achieved by having even more eyes and fingers appear on the dismembered parts. Regeneration. Pernida can regenerate its parts in any fingers it loses, intentionally or otherwise. Reconstitution. Should its body be destroyed, Pernida can completely reform and reconstruct itself in a short period of time. The Compulsory, za Compulsory, Japanese for Compulsory Execution. By shooting its nerves from its fingers and extending them into its opponent's body, Pernida can forcibly control their movements and can tear their body to shreds near instantaneously. Using this power, it instantly crushed the body of one of the Soul King's giant soldiers and condensed the corpse of Senjimaru Shitara's body double into a compact ball. It can also use this power to severely warp its victim's body, such as the arms of Yoruchi and Kenpachi Zaraki, where it reduced the latter's arm to a puddle of blood, and would have warped Kenpachi's entire body had he not ripped his arm off. Pernida can also send its nerves into its inorganic surroundings in order to control and shape them, which it could create giant arms and hands out of the ground and nearby buildings to attack its opponents with. In addition, if one of its fingers is severed, Pernida can have it use the Compulsory remotely, which involves an eye opening on the knuckle of the finger before attacking the target. This ability is not actually a true script granted by Yawach's blood, but an ability Pernida has always possessed. Regeneration manipulation. As a Quincy, it primarily absorbs spiritual energy from the atmosphere and combines it with its own spiritual energy to form weapons. It has an easier time collecting this energy in environments with higher concentrations of Regeneration, such as in Soul Society or Hueco Mundo. Hirenkyaku expert. Almost immediately after being called by Yawach, Pernida appeared behind Shuanpa Master Yoruchi Shihoin, catching her off guard, and attacked her before she could react. Immense spiritual power. As a member of the Schutzstaffel, as well as being the Soul King's left arm, Pernida possesses a truly immense amount of spiritual power that is greater than that of a captain-level Shinigami. Spirit weapon. Heilig Bogen, Heirihi Bogen, German for Holy Bow, Japanese for Sacred Bow. Pernida's preferred weapon takes the form of a large traditional bow and arrow, which it forms between its ring and index fingers and fires with its thumb. It can also create 5 smaller Heilig Bogens above its fingertips in order to fire more arrows at once. Heilig Pfeil, Heirihi Puferu, German for Holy Arrow, Japanese for Sacred Destruction Arrows. Pernida can gather Regeneration from the surrounding environment and condense it into arrows before firing them from its bow. Its arrows are very large and powerful, a single one having destroyed an entire tower, and can be imbued with Pernida's nerves in order to infiltrate a target from a distance. This also allows them to be redirected if they miss Pernida's target. Weaknesses. The Compulsory Nerve exposure. The Compulsory can be countered by exposing Pernida's nerves, which causes it intense pain. Anatomy change. If the anatomical structure of a limb invaded by Pernida's nerves is changed, it can no longer be controlled. Ryatsu defense. The nerves can also be forced back by concentrated Ryatsu.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.